because I see a lot of people still talk about Monster Hunter Generation X.
Or for you.
Or for you. So it could be that this has happened time and time again, and that's just the way that the company operates.
In which case, they might need a better way to operate. But there's not much we ourselves can really do.
Exactly. And again, like, this is coming from the player side, right? Because we don't know how the company is looking at the situation. We just don't know. All I know is that right now, a game that quickly became a favorite for me is suspended in time.
Like when we started World, like we didn't start World when the game first came out.
No, we got it in Iceborne.
Like we started getting into it when Iceborne came out. So by the time we caught up, like we were pretty much.
There was a fuck ton of shit you could do.
So much things to do, yeah.
Like, Rise is still a new game, so there's still time. It sucks to see the game stuck in, like,
This
a checkpoint. So they get to the next goal.
Obviously, I can't speak for these companies, but I feel like what their mindset is right now, they want to wait until, like, the average player gets to the point where they're almost max level, max everything, or at the point where they're comfortable.
No,
I don't know.
Bro, I see people hop on this game at around level 2. They're at level 7 hunter rank, hunting the late game items already. Like, I could go back through the records of, like, all of the other hunters that I've hopped into a hunt with, and they're already doing the late game stuff. They're already hunting Valstrats. They're already hunting Chameleos. They already have the weapons. They're fighting the All-Mother. And it's insane. Literally, if you leave a lobby open, everybody who comes into that lobby will spam you with the, can you post up a quest? Because nobody knows what quest they want to do.
Literally.
They're just willing to jump into a quest.
Literally.
And that's game.
That's literally how it is right now.
And that's the wildest part about it, right there. People will join a lobby, and everybody will look at the lobby board and look at each other, and everybody's like, alright, who's posting up a quest? You can be the nice guy and be like, yeah, I can post up a quest. And they're like, nah, post up a quest. Come on.
So the fact that in World, like the multiplayer lobbies, like
you never saw that. You never saw that. There are like a plethora of motherfuckers in one lobby, and everybody is always doing something.
Doing something, yes, but it's different with 4-player. When you have only a max of 4-player limit lobby, it's different, and it's even Smith. It's even worse because in World, you and I were able to join up other people's quests.
All the time.
You remember the SOS system?
The same SOS system that exists here, but it's
not the same because you can't like join someone else who needs help with another person. You have to go there by yourself.
by your damn self. You can't party up and then go on an SOS.
That was the issue.
And like right there, that is a small change that could change the game right now where it's at. That is a small change that could work.
A small quality of life change, yes. Then also like increase the player list per lobby.
That's what I'm saying. How many times did I point out that there are multiple different areas, multiple seating areas in the hub? You have the two tables where Ayame and Masaru Sushi are always chilling, and you have 6 seats by the Palicos. Why are there 6 seats if a lobby is only 4 people? I don't know, man. And I get it that that's probably like a big update that they would have to work through. But fam, we're in suspension right now. We're in suspension. Y'all could work that through pretty fucking soon.
Listen, I know you disagree on this, but I really truly believe that the Switch can't handle those types of updates. I really think it's because of the system that the game released on. You know damn well.
While I hold out,
I know damn well that Monster Hunter World, base world, I don't think the game itself can sustain on a Switch.
No, of course not. I still sustain the fact that the Switch can run a multiplayer lobby, like 8 people. But it's probably going to put too much of a strain. And the reason why I say this is because I currently have a radiator attached to my Switch so that it doesn't overheat.
Because your Switch is old.
I think it's a hardware problem that they're trying to avoid. Because imagine a new player gets a brand new Switch and they load up Rise or any of the later games, right? Any of the later released games. And it runs like that. Like, say, 8 players in a lobby. And that fan is overheating like crazy.
And that's what I was thinking. I mean, I understand what they're going for when they wanted to release Rise on the Switch, but you had to also release on the consoles
Or on PC. Or on PC. Hey, like, even if you didn't want to release it on a separate console, release it on PC.
You were limiting your player base.
And that's the thing, right? The Switch is, at its core, geared towards the Japanese and the Asians and the way that they play. They don't game for hours on end. Not all of them. Not a lot. They try to game on the move while they're on trains, while they're in transit, while they're chilling, a couple hours at home. They don't game the way the West games. Like, we don't care to sit here and game for 12 hours. We don't care to bring an entire system to somebody else's house just to play multiplayer.
What the fuck?
Right?
Man, that's
it's a difference in culture. And unfortunately, it's kind of hurting the gamer base.
No, I don't think that's the case. No, because every developer or publisher company, they know that. That's a basic.
No, but that's the thing. When they release the Switch, and you can even see it in the ads that they drop, we see the Switch in every ad with people bringing it to each other together, and they're never at a home. They're on the move. They're in restaurants. They're at a park. They're chilling.
Because at its core, the Switch is a portable console.
And that's where it's falling behind. Now, that being said, it works incredibly well as a portable console.
It reminds me
It
of the
accomplishes
PSP.
the mission. It
reminds me of
accomplishes
PSP.
the mission.
Oh my god.
And then that's where the new updated Switch comes as such a disappointment. Because it didn't change anything. It didn't change or upgrade the hardware. It updated the screen size by about, what was it, like a 1.5 inch? There was nothing big. A lot of players are even, like, mad at the fact that our frames per second are capped.
Frank, the FPS is also capped on console too. You know that, right?
Yes, but not the way that it's capped here.
Like I remember the PS4 and the Xbox One, their frames were capped at 60.
Yes.
And that became the base for all games. And if I'm gonna say, if isn't the Switch FPS rate capped at 30, or is it 60 as well?
It's currently at 60. Where
Okay.
every other system is currently at 120.
No, right now with the newer gen consoles, those are at 120 now.
But that's what they're mad about, right? This Switch came out still. Its initial release came out with the old gen consoles.
Yes.
And the Switch that came out now with the new gen consoles is still capped at 60. And that's the issue with the new Switch that was released.
But like, it's hard.
It is.
It is hard
100%
to
especially with a portable system.
Yeah, for a
100%.
portable system, you can. There's only so much you can put into that.
100%. I agree with you.
That's the fact
The
that
issue is, do not release a new system then. Because it just looks to everybody else like it's a cash grab.
say what it is. Because honestly, it looks like that's literally what it is. It's
Exactly.
cash grab.
Exactly. Those are the problems that people are having with the Switch specifically. They're saying it's the same as when they released the Wii U, which no, the Wii U actually had hardware changes.
But no one liked it. Well, like,
But
none of them liked it. They just said like,
something different.
no, it's the fact that it's like the Wii itself was still the better console.
Aside from its Wii U variant. So everybody is looking at the Switch the same way.
It is hard. It is hard to come up with a brand new console.
It is. 100% it is. I'm not saying it's not. The issue is that you released a console that's essentially the same.
Bro, what?
Like, even if you look at the Nintendo DS, every iteration had a different quality of life to it.
Oh, Jay, I don't know how the fuck that happened. You were on there. You were on the pad.
I was on it.
And
And
still
you still
died.
died.
I am an elite class gamer where I can die anywhere.
So I'd like to see.
Now that being said, the games on the Switch do extremely well at 60 FPS. Every game released so far looks amazing. It does. But what I
Don't want is for it to turn into like a brand new Monster Hunter game to just be a Switch exclusive.
exactly.
Because right there you are
especially as
you're
a
just
portable, especially as a portable console, you should be looking at ports for almost every game. You should be looking at ports for almost every game. But the Switch overall is still a 10 out of 10 console.
I would say 9 out of 10 because it's the only one without like an actual Ethernet port. You get to buy an add-on for that.
That's the new Switch.
Yeah.
The new Switch has an Ethernet port. That is the only big difference.
That should have been on the old one. But hey,
No, because the old one released in 2017. The Switch, the base Switch, released in 2017. There was no reason to have a port. That change is actually really well done with Switch. The issue is nothing else changed, so it feels like for what you could get as a fucking accessory at around 30 to 40, you now have to spend an entire console worth of money for it.
well, when you say the Switch came out in 2017, that just feels like it was a long time ago, and it was. But it's like
Because it was. And do you remember how hard it was to get Switches for a
mhm.
long time? People were still waiting on drops well into late 2018.
and it was the same with the PS5.
So the console does everything that it does extremely well. And the games on this console are massive. You could have a massive game library on a Switch. I just feel like with the new Switch being released, they missed out on big marks that would have done them well. Like, because when the new Switch got announced, right, I was already thinking, I'm gonna have to get this new Switch. And then they delay it, and then they give us the rumors of it, and then when it comes to release date,
There's no
the
real
release
reason.
video just makes you feel like, why would I waste my money? So they missed a big mark. Now, to whoever doesn't have a Switch already, by all means, you can choose between the two of them. But to everybody who already had a Switch, most of us were thinking, okay, I just need to get actual. I can keep the dock and all the cables, and I'm set. And no, no.
The whole gaming industry is in a weird place, in my opinion.
Right
Now
now,
more than
gaming is a cash grab. Gaming soared in popularity between last year and this year, along with COVID, and now it's a cash grab. JJ, have you heard that they want to implement in games?
you cut out for a second. What do they want to put in?
Ads. They want to put
Oh yeah,
ads
ads.
in games.
Mm-hmm. I heard.
Why do they want to put ads in games?
For the money.
Because nobody's looking at TVs anymore. They're not looking at TV for ads anymore.
But
Everybody's on a streaming site. And when
everything's
you're
on
a
the internet
streaming
now.
site- When you're on a streaming site, you pay that extra money to not have a single ad. So marketing companies are like, yo, video games. Mind you, we already have marketed branding in games. You have sports games. You have sports games with all of their sponsors, personal to the game. All of their sponsors, everywhere in the game.
And microtransactions.
And microtransactions already hurt games in general. And now you want me to buy a video game, and there's a possibility that every cutscene will be led with an ad.
Meaning there might be an advertisement.
Imagine-
I wish you would.
Imagine playing Monster Hunter Rise, and as soon as you get the meal from the meal before you head out, you get an ad for Pepsi. Before and after.
No. Or if we get an advertisement mid-hunt, I swear I am breaking my monitor.
I wish you would. Imagine playing a story-based game. A story-based game. Something along the lines of Halo or Metal Gear.
Oh God, no.
Or The Legend of Zelda. And it gets to an emotional scene. And you already got tears welling up in your eyes. And then you get a fucking ad.
Speaking of Metal Gear, I am planning on.
You would.
I actually do want to play the original one for the stream. I do have it on the PS3 as well. But no, imagine playing Metal Gear Solid 4, the ending cutscenes, and you get an ad.
Well, hey, I'm going back to the PS2. I'm going back to PlayStation 2 or 3 or 4.
The entire gamer, like, the entire population of gamers everywhere.
The whole pantheon.
Will never touch a new game ever again.
Touch a new console. That advertisement might not be just based on game. That might be just a console integrated system.
Hey, excuse me, Tony, for a second. Just want to say hey to D in the chat. What's up, man? Sorry I couldn't really talk too much for a second, but what's good with you?
Scrolling through the menu on your console.
Hey, but D, what do you think about this? How would you feel if you playing Monster Hunter or anything, and you see an ad in the middle of your hunt?
You'll be mad.
I want to know what his reaction will be. I want to know how he feels, how he would feel about that.
The same we would.
I know he'd be the same, but I want to hear his words. I want to see his words.
It would be myself, right? But yeah, I would literally just go back to playing the PlayStation 2.
Facts. Like, have you seen the way they do the YouTube ads?
Mm-hmm.
Fam, they load up 12 ads back to back, or they give you an hour-long ad.
that you can skip.
Skippable or
I don't give a
not?
fuck if I can skip.
No,
Do not put that in a game.
Any advertisement, any YouTube advertisement that runs longer than, well,
Longer than 30
advertising-
seconds. Longer
30
than 30
seconds?
seconds.
30 seconds you can skip.
Well-
At 15 you can also skip. But anything after 30 seconds, it doesn't matter what type of advertisement
Hey, yo,
you
yo.
can skip.
What D said
100%
right here.
waste of storage.
What D said? Yeah, waste of storage.
Because that's added updates per every new ad.
Yes. And look at the consoles that come out now. The PS5, it comes with what, a terabyte of base memory. Look at every game that comes out.
Literally load up half your fucking memory.
One game itself takes up like a quarter of that storage.
Can you imagine?
You'll be forced to spend even more money on an external hard drive.
Like, I understand.
Come on, fam.
I understand the money revenue that these companies can get.
It's
I just
greed.
want them to understand that their player base is not gonna be happy. You are going to lose money.
Honestly, I feel like me playing a classic game right now makes this so much more fitting. Because back during these days, none of this shit was relevant. We ain't care about that shit. All we were worried about was having a good time.
Paying time. And online play wasn't a thing back then. But back then, online play was a thing, but wasn't as
Prevalent.
relevant. Yes.
You had more co-ops than you had online play.
Hey yo, speaking of co-ops, D, whenever you can, you and me on this shit or on Twisted Metal 2, that's gonna be a fun time.
Actually, I don't think they wouldn't. They wouldn't put ads. The amount of uproar you would see
Fuck
from
myself over.
everybody.
Bro, there are already companies in talks.
No, and I don't mean that. I mean content creators. Content creators, they have leverage in the internet,
Bam.
especially the big
There
names.
are already gaming companies in talks with these marketers for ads. You can look this shit up.
That are for it or against it.
For and against. There are multiple companies voicing their opinions at the same time.
The ones that are for it are the AAA companies.
They are.
The AAA developers, like
They are.
Activision, especially Activision,
They are.
because they just want their money.
EA Sports. It's in the
This
game.
is the thing.
And EA.
Those AAA companies start getting big revenue from the ads. That player base says, fuck it, I'll deal with the ads. Then every other gaming company has to fold to keep up, or they're going to run out of business. And now the gaming population has to deal with ads from every aspect.
This would be another microtransaction situation, but worse.
It's bad, fam, it's bad.
Because we're already dealing with now a lot of games being released unfinished. Because what was the argument before? The argument used to be that we're not getting, there was not enough communication between the player base and the developer. And so what happened? It's like, okay, this is our way of communicating more to you, and it's just like, but it's like, we're not stupid. We can tell when a game came out underdeveloped.
There is no excuse. There is no excuse.
Fam,
for the last 2 years, the amount of games that got postponed and pushed back that finally hit these consoles and were fucked
Cyberpunk.
is insane. Is insane. Cyberpunk is the best example because they had to give back money.
And well, that's all because it was also the most recent. It was also the most recent. I mean, how many years did it get delayed? Like 7 years?
7 years. The first one was, okay, we want to try and implement this. The second one was, okay, these new gen consoles, let's wait for that. The new gen consoles got pushed back. All the games got pushed back. The new gen consoles hit the market. They pushed it back one more time and then released it. And that shit had bugs, glitches, game breaking, like.
The game was literally unplayable.
And everybody's looking at this like, yo, I did not waste $60 for this shit. And yes, it is the most recent example. But there are other examples that fell to the same shit.
Or the other thing that I hate is what happened with COD. This is something that COD does, especially, and they're gonna do it in the future. Where the game comes out, and yes, it is underdeveloped, and then there will be those updates that say that quote unquote gives here's more content. When it's like, wait a minute, the previous CODs, when their the base games of those CODs is like, this came out with the base game, so like why do we have to wait for this
one? Yes, 100%, 100%.
That was.
But honestly, you could literally chalk this up to corporate greed. All around. All around corporate greed. There are very few studios, there are very few companies that give a fuck about its player base. There's very few studios that even care to play their own games. Back in the day, all of these companies played the fuck out of their games.
And it was by pure passion.
Pure passion. They just wanted to release something that wasn't done, that was fun to play on end.
Twisted Metal's another good example.
What can we do to get more money?
And if the game had glitches, that was
Bro.
great.
I couldn't clear the line again.
Like, Judge, like you see that there are games that have a cheat code menu that encourage you to figure out if you can figure this out. That is your reward for your efforts.
Look at the Nintendo 64, fam. Fully completed games. Great games. Look at all the speedrunners. Look at what they do.
Speedrunners and the ones
they figure out glitches and they go ham.
Another good aspect.
Perfectly fine because the base game was not deterred by these glitches.
Bro, even like in the 360 and PS3 days, and look, GTA 4,
biggest example.
All those phone number G codes. You remember you went to GameStop, they literally had a cheat code book.
Yes, I bought one of those back.
Cheat code book.
I'm gonna throw this back a little further. Hold up.
Elementary school.
Before they put that book out, niggas used to figure out the cheat code and they had a sheet of paper
Yes.
A raggedy ass sheet of paper
with all the codes written that you
all
knew.
the codes.
Yo, you'd meet up with friends like, yo, I got the code for this. I got that one, but check this.
And back then,
And that came from the developers.
and also back then,
how
we didn't have
funny would it be?
smartphones. We didn't have smartphones.
And then that
So
came from,
you had to either memorize it or copy it down yourself.
right then and there. Everybody had their game case ready to write on that raggedy piece of paper.
Yo, do you guys remember?
Or you would write it. You remember the disc games? They used to come with a little manual, like the books.
Yeah, the manuals, and they had like pages in the back that was like empty, so you could write down codes like that there too.
Empty, like you literally see like empty lines. So that was the cue. Like, wait, this game has cheats.
It used to be like 3 or 4 empty pages.
Oh my god.
And those glitches and cheats didn't come from, oh, let's just fuck the game up. It came from these developers being
sneaky and putting that shit in there.
How funny would it be if we could just run a tank?
Included it.
Yo, how funny would it be if you had infinite ammo? It was them having fun with their own game.
Yes. And now they're not even allowed to.
They're not.
And you know, another good thing about games back then, with this game specifically, this game's popularity during playtesting as well. One of the people who playtesting it said, "Hey, it would be super funny and even kind of cool if you had this one guy driving a car where he was the car," and they made that into an actual character in the sequel. They listened to the fan base.
That came from them listening to the player base. But now they can't do that. They have to listen to what their publishers want, and their publishers want money. The publishers for these games want money.
They need money for their starving families.
But you know what's also the big thing? That's a big issue with fucking corporate America in general. Anything that gained popularity because it was fun, turn it into a market. They turn to market and say, hey, this is what a lot of people are talking about what they're doing. Maybe this is a way we can make money off of it. I'm like, come on, let it just...
But they already had the answer. The answer was tournaments. The answer were events. You can literally soup up an event with ads. You can soup up an event with merch. You can soup up an event with geared markets. Look at how many sales are generated just off merchandise.
The biggest perpetrators of this, who really need to learn from their mistakes, is Nintendo, especially with the Smash community, because they themselves had Smash tournaments canceled when that generated a lot of money and a lot of views too. Especially with Melee, even that was an old ass game. It was still really good and really popular, but it was.
Nintendo is actually in reverse.
Yeah, they're in reverse now.
No, they've been in reverse because Nintendo didn't want to see their games be hyper competitive. Nintendo wants to see their games for people to have fun. They want to see their player base have fun.
But they're
ignoring the player base that love to compete.
Smith, you know, Smash, when they came out, that was a competitive game on purpose.
Yes, because it was meant for you and your friends
to battle it out.
And have fun, yeah. So, yeah, you kind of right now, Smith.
Getting events where people were putting money on the line, where they were putting money on the line for these events, Nintendo was like, wait. That's what stopped it. And then these events, the players were having so much fun that the players themselves a city itself, the player base in a city would say, "Hey, we're gonna try and host something." The players themselves brought TV screens. The players themselves brought chairs. The players themselves rented out a venue, and the players themselves pooled money for a prize. That is the only reason the Smash community survived. So Nintendo is actually backwards on this.
But did you show that right now there is a major disconnect, and it's only like getting further and further away between
Now,
not developers.
it's not the developers, honestly.
The developer is not
The
their fault
developers
because
are
they're
only
just designing
faulted.
the game.
The developers are only faulted on releasing a game
But
or an
yeah,
incomplete game.
a complete game that did.
That being said, they
That's starting to be
also have
shit.
to pay attention to their publishers. So while it is also on them, if
It
their
is-
publishers say release this shit now, they have no choice. I'm gonna argue all points. Anybody who has a right has a right. It is. The disconnect is on the publishers and the company heads that want their money and don't give a fuck.
Yes, the publisher and player. That's where the major disconnect is.
Yes. Yes. 100%. Also, on the side of the players, if you look at the player base as a full population, players are absolutely spoiled rotten.
Yes, we are spoiled because we're greedy for more.
We want a lot of shit, but we're not willing to wait for shit.
Yes, we're greedy and impatient. Also comes the fact that we have way too much time on our hands now compared to before.
100%. 100%.
You know that's true.
I mean, yeah, no, it's true, but I'm not laughing at that.
Way too much time on our hands now.
So, if you really look at it and you take away just the money aspect of it, gaming is in a bad spot because
Oh my god! Oh my
we
god!
have to bring it back. We have to bring it back between players and developers and how we communicate. And then then the gamers and developers can start tackling the money grab. But developers are the ones that get all the backlash. Have you seen certain tweets from certain gamers to game developers that are playing the game?
Oh, 100%. They're toxic as hell. Some are toxic as hell.
Like, bro, that's not on him. They are aware of the bugs. They are trying to work it through. They are. By the time we see the bug, they already have data for it. They're already trying to fix it. But the people who tweet them out, crazy. People are sending death threats. They're saying, fuck you. They're saying, fuck your family. And I'm sitting there reading the tweets like, hey, yo.
It's not him.
Now, that's not to say Blizzard is completely out this conversation because Blizzard is in a hell.
Fuck Blizzard.
Blizzard is in a hellhole of its own.
Yep.
But
Blizzard, it's
gamers
Activision as well. They are two publishers in one.
Yes.
So Activision gets equal blame.
100%. But you don't see Activision getting the same blame. The Blizzard president had to step down. We ain't hear shit from the executive board of Activision.
Oh my god.
We ain't hear shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, wait, Smith. I think like the CEO of Blizzard is also the CEO of Activision.
No, I'm not talking CEO. I'm talking the president of Blizzard. Step down.
But isn't it also the president of Activision as well?
Different presidents, same CEO.
Okay.
So again, it comes down to
Where'd you come from?
the gamers and the developers needing to find that union again,
Oh my
and then we can
lord.
tackle the greed portion of gaming right now. But we're not going to see that. And it's even worse because we don't have events. We don't have events. We don't have events where the gamers and the developers could come together and have fun. Gaming's in a bad spot, but it's still in a decent spot.
It's just a matter of how far can it go in either direction. Where can we bring it back? If so, how? And
Oh, we can. We can bring it back. It's just everyone needs to let go of their egos.
My bad. I heard a weird bang on my house.
No stress. Yeah, like gaming's in a bad spot, but it's also in a decent spot. Like it's not
irreparable damage, yeah, it can come back.
like
these are that have easy solutions.
and we're seeing it from the developer side first. We're seeing the changes come up from the no, not irreparable. We're seeing changes in the developer side. Again, alluding to Blizzard's whole situation, Riot had the same situation.
Yes,
a year
Riot
ago.
did. Yes.
So with these people bringing their experiences, not hiding it, and actually bringing it to light, these companies now have to deal with, okay, we can't fuck around anymore. We're not going to get away with this scot-free. And gaming companies are starting to get back to where they're supposed to be.
I think that also shows that the internal problems that are going on the developer side, you see it in the games that are being released.
Yes, 100%.
That shows that there are actual internal problems that need to be resolved on the developer side, so that we can get back to where we should be.
And that's what I'm trying to say here. The developer side is already trying to work through it. The developers are speaking up. Their problems are coming to light. Now we gamers need to put our own energy too. We need to admit that we're fucking greedy. We need to admit that we ask for the impossible and get mad when they don't give us the impossible.
By the way, if anybody in chat wants to add anything in, they can. In fact, we encourage you guys to actually include anything. Anything you want to say, just chat, just come right through.
We need to start showing that the gamers have their power. Right now, we're only showing our power to just scream bloody murder. We need to show these money grabs
And
that we are the people. We need to start doing events, even local, the same way the Smash community did when they started. Have local pools, have local events. Everybody brings something to make the venue work. We can get we can get these like little known artists make fucking merchandise, stickers, badges, pins, whatever. We can generate money and then pool that towards the game that is being played at this local event. And we can take power away from the corporate. It'd be rough. But the developers are starting to start their fight, and I think gamers need to start doing the same.
Absolutely. Doesn't even have to, I don't think it has to be major titles either.
No, it doesn't. It could just be any game title that people have fun with. And it doesn't even need to be like a competition thing. It could just be, say, speedsters, speedrunners. Speedrunners in a local area. Come through, we're playing this game. If you're good at it, if you can speed this game, let's see what's up. And then you broadcast that, and you show the world what's going on. And we start our fight. But I don't think gamers are gonna start doing that until microtransactions and advertisements really fuck with us.
But by then, will it be too late?
No, not at all. As long as the fight is had. Because even if, say, we lose a year, even if we lose a year of console sales, of game sales because of these ads and shit, the money raised at the local level, even if it's small, imagine 8 to 10 different game titles with local events where the fan base pulls their money. And then you can turn that towards a game company. The money generated would be enough. Because imagine local as in citywide. Then there's the statewide generation. Then there's the coastwide generation. Then there's the countrywide generation. If the gamers do it all at the same time, the money earned would fucking work well. And this is coming from an idyllic standpoint, right? Because I'm pretty sure there would be a ton of things that actually go into it. I can't imagine the amount of effort these events and production teams that put together these events actually go through. But I feel like we can make it work. Because if it's one thing I know about gamers, we love our games and we hate to see them die. Like Halo 2 Online persisted years after the game was released. And there were still people playing it. Tony, how many people do we still have playing older CODs?
Oh, you know I want to know.
We hate to see the games we love die. So I'm pretty sure if we're really pushed to shove, we could make it work. It's just we haven't hit our breaking point yet.
The reason why a lot of people play older COD because the new CODs like are
They suck. But that's what I mean. That's what I mean. We have not been pushed to our limit yet. And that's why corporations are still getting away with the shit they're doing. Yo, JJ, why does your truck look like its neck got snapped halfway?
Because it pretty much did.
God damn.
Also, I don't know how I did it, but I managed to kill the final boss before this